of all, to give you a snapshot of where we are in Kenya today, as far as the ICT gaps are concerned, and I think that is the most important thing in order to be able to facilitate access to various services that we have had this morning. We carried out an access gap study. An access gap study revealed that we now have about 5.6% of access gaps in Kenya, which means we have improved from 11% in 2011 to now 5.6%. I'm also going to tell you about the remedies that we are proposing, and some of which we have already undertaken as CA, in order to make sure that we achieve 100% completion of coverage in ICT by Kenyans. By December 2015, we had the following statistics. Broadband was 16.8, mobile was 88%, I think it has now improved. Internet was 82.6%, and broadcasting was at 60%. I think now we have moved to 61. Now this is the snapshot of the telecom market. Of course, in terms of players, the major players or drivers of this market are the mobile operators. So far, we have an MVNO operator who has also joined the market. Safaricom is still leading with 66.3%, Airtel 19.1%, Orange 11.8%, and Equitel is 2.9%. I think they bring a total subscription in this particular market to 37.6 million. Now, I have given you the subscriptions as they are in terms of internet subscriptions, 23, mobile subscriptions, 37, and broadband subscription around 7 million. Now, the fixed line deliverables to broadband has really declined, except where the fiber has come into place. The traditional fixed line and CDMA have almost collapsed. Fiber has taken over as a fixed broadband pipes that we are using, but mostly the internet is being accessed through the mobile subscriptions of 3G. Now, here is maybe something you may wish to have your attention to in terms of internet data usage. By September last year, we had subscriptions of 21, through the mobile data subscriptions of 21 million as well, the terrestrial wireless data subscription of 13, satellite data subscription of 720, fixed DSL at 2,500, fixed fiber data subscriptions had grown to 100,000, and of course, cable modems were only 25. Those gave us the internet usage through different technologies to 31 million, or nearly 32. These are the voice and data gaps in Kenya. If you look at the current situation, the 2G coverage is the one seen in pink. I don't know whether it is pink or red, I really don't know. We have 94.4% of 2G coverage in the country. I think, therefore, you can see where the red cards are working. But we have about 45% of 2G coverage in terms of landmass. About 60% of 3G, which is not very good. I mean, if we want to make sure that we deliver e-services to everybody in the country, this is not a good representation so far. I think we needed to do better than that. Now, in summary, I've said we have around 94.4% population covered. Out of these, 5.6 or 2.66 million Kenyans are not served with ICTs as we speak at the moment, including 2G. We have 166 sublocations with zero coverage. I think the ICT minister from Mandera raised that question in the morning. These are some of the areas that we are going to work on in our remedy plans. We have 418 sublocations with less than 50% coverage. And of course, out of the 7,000 sublocations, we have 5,655 sublocations that are covered 100% with 2G. I have just given you a narration of the coverage in terms of population and sublocations, and we can say that 699,000 Kenyans, 310 have zero coverage in the areas where they stay. And at least with less than 50%, we have 1,347,000. I think when you calculate that, you can see how we are performing in terms of the population coverage as far as access to the ICT services are concerned. Now, the worst hit areas where those 166 plus sublocations are found is in northeastern Kenya and northwestern Kenya. Now, what are we doing as CA to be able to ensure that all Kenyans enjoy these services? The first thing that we did is to carry out an access gap study, which is going to be given to the public soon. The study revealed that 5.6% of the population of Kenya is not covered with ICTs. And therefore, this has given us a perspective from where we can start and then make various interventions in order to be able to close the gaps. We will begin with 1 billion shillings to close the identified gaps, the areas that are very needy. And 500 million shillings will be spent in the next financial year to provide broadband to schools. We have also in our new the renewal of licenses given the mobile operators targets to fulfill. I think if I remember, we have given Safaricom up to around 500 and something sublocations for which to cover between now and 2018. Airtel has also been given the same obligations, and therefore in this particular case, we will be also assisting the fund to be able to reduce the mobile gaps that we are having at the moment. What we are also doing is that we are looking towards proper planning of the spectrum and also even aid those operators with spectrum for 3 years, plus in addition to the universal to the fund, in order for them to be lured to go to areas that are badly need services and that do not make economic sense to them. We are also thinking in terms of making it easy for mobile operators to access the broadband spectrum of 3G. We have divided the 30 megahertz to by 10 30 megahertz in the 800 megahertz band, and we shall apportion it at equal prices and minimal as far as the consultants we have received is concerned, to the 3 mobile operators to be able to roll out the 4G services. We are also looking into the possibility of using the 450 megahertz spectrum. We know the technologies are right to be able to roll out broadband in the rural areas. I know with the speed of around 5 megabps, that 450 megahertz spectrum can be able to support such a speeds. And I think that would be also a very good vehicle for those remote areas where it might take a little while to be able to, to have them access broadband. We have a stock of spectrum in 2.5, 2.6 gigahertz. We are challenging the industry to be able to come forth and make use of that spectrum in order to have a quick rollout of 4G, of broadband in the country. and more especially in our counties where I think these services is needed most. May I also take this opportunity, I have seen our governors are around here, to urge them, I think, to also invest in the ICT by making sure that their counties are having ducts, so that people just come and roll out fiber in their counties using those ducts, and they pay you, and it will be less and cheaper for us to be able to roll out the broadband infrastructure.
Telecom Kenya is in charge of the EASY project, and it also has interest in the TIMS project. These are the submarine cables right here in Mombasa. It also has interest in the Lion cable. This is a new one that is landing outside Mombasa but on the coast, so it provides a very serious redundancy. In fact, Telecom Kenya is the only operator that has redundancy in terms of, in the event the landing point that contains EASY, CCOM and the rest has an issue, there's still an option for traffic out of Kenya through Lion. We have the usual business portfolio, which I don't think I need to go through. I would rather talk about the current effort to make sure that we're laying the foundation for Smart Kenya. The North B project that we've been hearing about since morning is largely implemented by Orange Telecom. I've just grabbed a snapshot of some of the county headquarters that this particular project has reached, but definitely all the 47 counties are part of the plan that I think this morning we were told that there's presence up to the county headquarters in terms of infrastructure. That infrastructure is largely deployed by Orange Telecom. It also has some other projects, like this particular one is an e-health project happening in Narok County, where there's provision of infrastructure for telemedicine. So you have a dispensary that may not have specialized doctors, but through the telco infrastructure, you are able to connect the patient to specialists in Nairobi or elsewhere. So some of the smart metering solutions are able to pinpoint precisely which meter needs attention. And the same thing could apply to traffic lights. I mean, not traffic lights, but security lights in urban centers. If you have metering tools on those on the street lights, actually, it is possible to have a system that automatically senses the intensity of darkness and switches on the system. And when daylight breaks, it sends signals back to the control room that perhaps it's time to switch off the lighting system. The other thing that smart infrastructure that could do is to allow for remote diagnostics. If you have a car that is IP connected, it's possible that you get stuck somewhere in the bundus, and your mechanics connect it to your engine, and they're able to do basic diagnostics and jumpstart your car. Smart homes. Imagine you leave your house and you forget to switch off the lights. It's possible that the house could be able to inform your mobile phone that there's a problem, and using the same mobile phone, you switch off certain lights that you had forgotten. Still on the smart home technology, you could also have your fridge telling you that, hey, you're going to run out of milk in the next few hours. So it sends a message to your mobile phone, and you're able to react accordingly. So these are some of the technologies that are currently available because of mobility and infrastructure that is owned by most mobile operators.
In regards to Smart Kenya, As we've seen in a number of statistics, there's been a lot of progress as a country in terms of connectivity. And even in the figures also shared by Walo, you can see that connectivity of our country to the rest of the world is already in good. We have several submarine cable connecting this country with sufficient bandwidth. And within the country, besides the broadband connectivity, which is still a bit low, the rest in terms of coverage is quite good. And when you look at the requirements for our country to move towards transformation, towards knowledge and technology business, what else needs to be done is actually to advance the innovation ecosystem. We have certain components of it which are already in place, but there are things that needs to be addressed. So one, in the first question she mentioned, is what kind of infrastructure we need. First, we need connectivity in terms of ICT. And Konza Techno City is well located in terms of being close to Nairobi, 60 kilometers from Nairobi, and also being between Nairobi and Mombasa. This is where the major ICT connectivity passes through. So we are starting to get at least more than six independent backbone connectivity to Konza Techno City. And this will meet the requirements of most of the investors who would be considering to locate their offices, either country headquarters, regional, or even put facilities such as data center. And there are still other infrastructure. When we talk of smart Kenya, it's not only the component of ICT. ICT plays the role of the platform for delivery of services, bringing the aspect of smartness in terms of decision making, accessing the data, whether through sensors, and able to analyze this for provision of good decision. And that is the smartness that ICT provides. But we need also to address smartness in aspects of power. And this is one aspect we've been also discussing with the agencies that are involved in power, energy provision, be it Kenya Power in distribution, and Ketraco for transmission. So that's another key component for a city like Konza, that it really needs to address that component. We have also the aspect of transport, the road network, not only the connectivity to the major city like Nairobi. As you heard our CS mention the SGR, the discussions to address Konza, to ensure we have SGR connected to Konza. First, to have a station close to Konza, and a spur line between Konza station and the Konza Techno City. That will improve connectivity in terms of transport of the railway. We also think the city needs to address the issue of connectivity in roads surrounding the city, and we are in discussion with the Ministry of Infrastructure to ensure that the roads that link Konza to the rest of the city are well addressed. And what can the private sector do? One of the things you've seen is that as much as we have this good progress in connectivity in terms of ICT, there are still a lot of gaps in terms of service delivery. There's still some expectations we have. Walo mentioned about this experience with Nairobi County in terms of water, and that is the gap which is still there. And that gap can be addressed by having a city like Konza, the way it was envisioned to be a global hub of innovation. It needs to be like the other innovation hubs we know. We know what Silicon Valley has done for US and the rest of the world. Some of the greatest technologies we enjoy came out of a place. So positioning Konza as that specific driver to provide a place where we can change these ideas into solutions and businesses. And that's where we need to focus to see how Konza can play in the role of Smart Kenya by providing a place where these ideas and innovations can be grown and given the chance for the startups to grow into SMEs and the multinationals. And one of the things we are thinking about in Konza is how to link, and this is specified in the ICT master plan, how to link Konza to the rest of the innovation hubs. We hope the counties and the universities, we have several technical universities in the country, and one of them in Mombasa, Technical University of Mombasa, how these can be the hubs in the regions and the counties, and we can build linkages between the other innovation hubs with Konza Techno City, so that we can create a pipelines of innovation for our country to make success, innovation, and addressing the challenges that we have. We need to enhance that ecosystem of innovation. The universities needs to play its role, the industry needs to play a role, and the government needs to play a role. And one of the things that we are doing to position Konza as actual a global hub of innovation is to learn from what others have done. We know of Korea, and in many forums we've seen Kenya compared with some of these countries, Singapore and Korea, and how it was around 40 years ago we were equal. What is it that they did differently? And what is it that we can learn and do? And one of the things they did was Korea in 1971 set up a university called Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. And that became one of the catalysts that transformed that country towards the technology and knowledge-based economy. And we are in discussions through our CS with the Ministry of Education to establish a similar university. And we are quite privileged that Korean government with the Kenyan government have been in this discussion. And that university is one of the consultants, Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, to help Kenya set up such a university that will spearhead and lead in direction of innovation. And that university will be based in Konza. So this will specifically position Konza as a techno city and will be part of the global hubs of innovations. And now we want to see how we can link that now with the innovation hubs. And we want to encourage county governments. We are privileged, His Excellency the Governor is here, and to see how the counties can work with Ministry of ICT and others to build the innovation hubs within the country, so that we can create huge potentials for startups across the country. And this will provide a potential for these startups to grow up. And Konza will be the next place where they can come and grow, because it is indeed the local indigenous companies that will transform our country.
One, the success of all operators on this line in terms of creating a smart Kenya. Our success squarely lies on government creating the right environment, the trust and the leadership for us to be able to put our investment, to be able to realize this dream. Because from where I sit, there's been a lot of agitation about change of constitution. I think one of the things that should be, enforced and pushed is to have smart cities or a smart Kenya, for access to broadband be one of the basic rights for people. Because really, when you look at our lives today, they revolve around smart devices, smart applications, and we need to be able to access all these. Seated there when I was listening to the guy from NTSA, there's a lot that came into mind. Through a smart city, we can be able to also regulate traffic. We can be able to allocate resources, have technologies like crowdsourcing, whereby you can direct buses to where traffic is. And that way we will not have continually county governments, especially in Nairobi County, every other time saying that they have a blueprint, they have a roadmap that takes you off transport. As Airtel, what have we done? One of the things and very exciting for us is that I think we are ahead of this game, and privileged that Waziri is here. One of his assignments was to come and officially launch a project that we ran since the year 2014 called digitization. We've been able to connect as Airtel more than 300 schools, and most of them are in the rural areas. We are giving these schools free internet for life. So essentially, when government is rolling out the free laptop project, Airtel was ahead of itself. We were able to give these schools free internet. And beyond that, because there's a lot that goes into smart cities, what else we've done is that we've partnered with different companies. Worth of note is Kenya Power. And what we've done with Kenya Power is that there's a project that they're running which is called automated metering, which is part of the drive towards smart cities. And from these, we've been able to support their machine-to-machine operations, which is one of the key drivers of smart cities. A big project, and I think they are rolling it countrywide, which is also targeting domestic consumers in the near future.
I get quite concerned when I hear that we provided, internet to schools. At what capacity? What's the effective quality that we're delivering on the ground? Are we delivering a robust service? Is it sustainable? Is it going to land? Again, in one of the presentations, I saw that we're delivering about 10 MB to a county headquarters, and then saying we've delivered internet to the county headquarters. Out of the counties that are here, how many staff alone, not even the county area, do we have in that place? If we divide that 10 MB by the number of people there, what actual effective use of the internet do we have on the ground? I think we should address the elephant in the room, that we really, in 2016, should not be talking about these capacities. We really should be talking about minimums of STM1, 155 Mbps, STM4s, 2 gig capacity. When we talk about rolling out free Wi-Fi, we should be talking about the user experience, the quality, the security, the redundancy. We should be talking about what we do, and I'm responsible to carry quite a number of banks in East Africa. I carry maybe 18 banks and over 2,000 branches and ATMs that have to be up all the time. When you guys go to your ATMs, you don't want to see that thing not working. So across the country, East Africa. So if I'm responsible to deliver that, then I carry a burden of responsibility to actually do that at quality level. And we shouldn't then make a lower class citizen or a standard 1 pupil to deliver a lower quality class of service to that person who is Kenya's future. So my question then is, how do we address that issue? And what standards are we going to put in place? And how do we then push out the necessary required capacity in 2016? Because from what I'm hearing, we're delivering stuff like it's 2005, 2006. Let's get real, let's get very practical, let's push it. If we're talking about Konza, we need to be ahead of the world, not behind.
His worry and his concern was, how are we delivering this capacity? How are we able to give free internet to schools? The model that we're using is through wireless routers, because a lot of the schools are doing labs. So we give them theoretically unlimited internet, but with a fair usage policy of 30 GB per month. That's for life. We don't charge the schools anything. That's a CSR project actually that we run. Beyond that, something else that I forgot to mention is in terms of the depth of coverage, as Airtel, we partnered with one of the satellite device and service providers, that is Suraya. So seated here, I can comfortably or confidently say that I'm the only operator who can be able to deliver internet, for instance, at Sukuta Valley or the Yangalani in Turkana, where major comes from. So really, some of these things are possible, and it's the support and the environment that we